Hey YouTube, Machismo Eugene. I decided to make a second video. I just think this is the first time I've ever did two videos in one day. And again, this is my video for this year regarding beware of the narcissists during the holiday seasons. I know that most of us have a great idea or a good idea that the narcissists only come to steal, kill, and destroy whatever is already growing in your life. They want to stand up under your umbrella outside of the storms of life. They want to be protected from their insecurities and the monsters under the bed, like Rihanna says. And that's a great song that describes the monsters that they're talking to. Uh, there's a there's a verbiage in her song goes, "I'm friends with the monster inside of my head. I'm friends with the monster under my bed," something like that. They are okay with these monsters that are inside of their head, under their bed. It's kind of like their little friend. But I'm going to show you. I think most narcissists are mentally retarded because anyone in a rational state of mind, because they can't introspect. So we already know that's retardation right there. It's a lack of comprehension of the norm. So it's kind of like they are friends with these voices in their head. It's almost like their little pillow or teddy bear, knowing that this teddy bear or this thing that they're cherishing so much needs to be thrown out because it's old, it stinks, the stuffing is coming out of it, but they don't know how to detach and disengage. They are continually doing the thing that never works in the end, but it works for a time. So in essence, it's kind of like someone who thinks, well, I don't care if this doesn't work in the end. I know if it, in the past it's worked up to a certain degree. Now, I don't know if they're thinking that through like that because I wouldn't give them that much credit, but that's the motivating factor. They continue to do the same old things with every victim, and they're doing it to multiple people. So that makes reasonable sense as to why they may not have had that conversation with themselves or that thought process. But if they got so many little toys that they're playing with, meaning human beings, emotions that they gain from them, the narcissistic supply, the fuel supply, they have these many people that they can placate on their emotions going simultaneously. It is really easy to understand if I got multiple toys and it's not that hard to get them, and it's getting increasingly harder to get toys or people who are weak in the head. But in a sense, they've become more intelligent, if I can use that with regards to the narcissist. But if we're getting everything that we want by way of toys or human interaction, why would we ever stop to think that we should cease and desist or stop doing people wrong or treating people bad or trying to destroy well meaning good natured people? There's no incentive for that. It's kind of like I hear people say, like songs that go, live like I'm dying, live like there's no tomorrow. All of these things probably were adopted by narcissists, these sayings, and you got to be careful how you adopt these sayings. You plaster them on your Facebook or your TikTok. You get caught up saying things, sound bites that you've heard other people say, and you really don't know the meaning behind it. You don't know the depth of how you're destroying your inner core of morality. And this is what these people do. Just to be associated with them, they diminish what worth you already have. They will diminish it. And that's why some content creators here say you're only a shell of what you used to be once a narc is done with you. A narcissist is done with you. And yeah, They they're looters. They're mental, emotional looters. Look at it in that sense, an analogy. When the O.J. Simpson trial was in its midst or initial stages of it, I think when he was arrested in the beginning, people went on to break store windows, break into stores and businesses, establishments, and just began to loot. And most of those people that looted, they weren't looting because there was injustice. It was an opportunity to take something for nothing. And I'm going to say this too. It's like, and I'm going to say it because I'm a free thinker. The George Floyd situation, what we don't take from that is the surveillance shows George Floyd, one of many occasions, would go into the store and just, he would just frolic in the store for hours upon hours, just loitering, hee hee ha ha, running con games, stealing, taking stuff, unbeknownst to the, well, not unbeknownst because the cameras gathered this information. And on this particular day, and I'm going to get back on subject as opposed to the holidays, but how people rally around injustice is pathetic because they don't really wholeheartedly support the cause as demonstrated in front of you. You have a gang of people, may have a handful of them in there that are really, really, truly heartfelt for the cause. Most people are just hanging out just to hang out. They're just to be a part of something to gain some kind of clout. And, PSing, well, like I like to say, PSing, publicity stunt, trying to get them some smoke, or trying to get them some attention. But this surveillance camera showed essentially that he had stolen before. He had, I believe, don't quote me on this, that he had tried to pass and even passed counterfeit money across to the teller before, or the store clerk. And mind you me, the store clerk that was instructed to keep an eye on him and to monitor this counterfeit money that he's passing across wasn't Arab descent. I believe he was an African American kid. And so he did what he was instructed to do by the clerk. Truth be known. And this is just an unfortunate thing with regards to him losing his life. I'm not minimizing that, but I am maximizing the opportunity in this situation to highlight how a lot of things that happen, even tragedies, they're emphasized and they're magnified most often by narcissists who are leading a movement. Let that sink in. And you know why most people won't talk about it? Because they're a part of the problem. When you're speaking and you're exposing the very thing that they are, they're quick to say, how heartless of you to say that. Well, that's your opinion. That's your right to say and feel what you want to about me. I know who I am. I know what I'm designed to be. And I encourage everyone who's having a hard time grasping with some of the stuff that content creators and YouTubers are talking about on here. Spend less time trying to critique what is being said in the negative, because even the negative has a positive benefit to it. And in this case, talking about the negative toxic behavior. An opportunist, such as the narcissists are. They're royal. They're royal opportunists. In this holiday season, you gotta be not leery, aware, hyper aware of how people rally around you, how people flock to be in your space. Actually, what they're doing, they're winding you up. They're beginning to befriend you, groom you, stroke your positives, stroke your ego. So they're massaging you now so you can get relaxed coming up to the holiday. They won't even have to ask you for a gift. If they massage you right, get you relaxed enough, that in itself is enough to motivate you, compel you out of your facade of guilt that shouldn't even exist. I gotta get them something. Not even that. You could be just that subconsciousness say, oh, I'm gonna get them something. They told me they were struggling in their situation. Take a woman that's struggling in her finances and you ask her, hey, you didn't even ask about her struggles. You say, hey, how you doing? That opens the door right there for the average toxic human being, the leech, the user, the taker, the looters. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, how are you? It's just a greeting. That greeting opens the door for a list of things that narcissists and low vibrating people have and load you up with. How are you doing? How are your kid? Oh, everybody's okay. Just had to take my little one to the doctor and XYZ, and that was $500, and I was gonna get Christmas gifts, and I don't know how I'm gonna do that now. That is convincing right there. Who wouldn't take notice of that? You know what I think about when the holidays are coming? Be well, be blessed, and enjoy your family. One day, people amp themselves up to a degree that you can't even measure with a measuring tape. There's moments where family members try to bury the hatchet. They use Christmas or Thanksgiving or any other holiday you want to use for this example to mend fences, to patch up problems. You notice the word mend, patch? It's a temporary fix to a permanent problem. And the permanent problem is when you're putting a temporary fix on it, it remains permanent. Only way you're going to fix those kind of problems, you have to take a step back away from essentially that holiday, because that's the center focus. It's not the making up. It's not the saying you're sorry, not the apology. That's the center focus. The centerpiece of that whole thing is that holiday. That's just an excuse you use to lessen your guilt, to lessen your pride, or even to strengthen your pride so you don't have to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to talk about this on Christmas. I want us to talk about this before the holidays even come. And some would even try to do that before because they're a game in that. Because that in turn may make you feel compelled to get them a gift now. And your brother and you haven't spoken in 20 years. Then they come around, they want to apologize days before. So there's a slew of dynamics that are going on during the holidays coming up. And I'm just here to tell you, beware of different things. I'm all over the place with this, but of course they are too. So you got to just bounce around when you're talking about the idiotic stuff that they do. Don't leave any stones unturned. If you can think it in the negative, most often the narcissist is planning it, plotting it, or even doing it as we speak. They're so easy to figure out. It would be comical if it wasn't so disturbing. And take the person outside of you that is being played on by these people. You ever notice you just sit back and you see how they're being played on, a victim being played on, and you so much want to just grab them and snatch them and take them in that public bathroom and say, hey, you know, she's spending a whole bunch of time on her phone. Have you observed that that's not really what a first date should be. And when you were gone to the bathroom, she was taking pictures of the food so she can upload it to Snapchat or TikTok, giving the appearance that she bought it. She's out treating herself to a meal. This may offend some people because this is some of the stuff us normal people do. We're on our electronic gadget during a first date. I would warn against it because it's just not a good look. And anything that remotely resembles bad behavior, most often by the narcissist, detest it, man. Detest it. Because I've told you before, narcissists of the world are training well-meaning, healthy people how to become narcissists. I mean, it's highly unlikely that you'll become a narcissist if you're an adult, but you definitely will have such strong narcissistic patterns and behavior. Doesn't matter if you're a diagnosed narcissist or not at that point, because guess what? Something pops off in the crowd, in the street. This is how it looks. You have a narcissist creating chaos. You'll have normally, seemingly healthy people who are actually unhealthy, codependent, what have you. They would actually rally around that cause, not even knowing the ins and outs of that cause. They'll be listening to the sound bites of, we want justice. We want justice. And the thing is, no one goes and vets that person to say, hey, what's your first name? What's your last name? And right then and there, Google it. Look on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, Facebook. Look at their profile. Read some of the comments that they may make. Read some of the things that they may quote, because this is what they're big on. They get quotes of a strong magnitude and they cut and paste them all over their profile. They know how to put lipstick on the pig. If you don't know how to identify what narcissists look like, they will pin the tail on the donkey, if you will. They will make their Facebook Christmas tree of bullshit look like it's the best tree. And this is an analogy, a metaphor. They will pin all these sayings on their Facebook to make it look like they are, in fact, solid people. We all like good sayings. We all like funny sayings. And some of them are a little edgy. Some of them are a little dark. But you'll see that specifically. They'll have a lot of dark humor. They'll be big on that. They'll be big on dark humor. But again, open wounds, unhealthy people, like we all are and have been at some time in our life. We're just trying to figure out what it means to be human and live in a world in a pretty much fairly normal way. Treat people how you would like to be treated. Just general things that get us through life. Respect other people. If you offend people, apologize within reason. If it's something that you truly know that has offended someone. Don't sit back and just let a person go through an emotional roller coaster because you stepped on their foot and didn't say sorry or excuse me. Of course, a narcissist will ride that too. They'll pretend like you've offended them when you haven't. So it goes all over the place. Holiday seasons. Christmas is on its way around the corner. I just want you guys to be very, very conscious of the fact. And me, myself, what am I doing for Christmas? I'm going to wake up and appreciate the fact that I'm living. No Christmas tree. I don't do any of that. I used to have a little tree. I would take it up from the basement I would go upstairs, not the basement, what do you call it, the attic, and get it every year. And it was probably about 3 foot high. I would leave all the lights and everything on it. That's how lazy I am. and just bring it down every year and put it in the window for the kids. And we had a Snoopy that my daughter, it was a male Snoopy, she put lipstick on it. So we called it Snoopette. And I just recently threw that away. And it lighted up, or it lit up with a light bulb in the middle. You know, we've done that stuff, but my children told me a long time ago that there's no Santa Claus. And that was a happy moment because I always used to tell them, I, you, I tell Santa Claus what you guys want. He brings it to me and I buy it. I pay for it. That kind of thing. And I've since don't have to worry about that either because it's all a joke. And I'm not to be bah humbug here because there's a tradition in this with some people. You've done this so many years, you don't know how to not do it. But let's be real. If you are a God-fearing person and you're really getting into the depth of what the Word of God says about life and living in a spiritual realm, these things won't make sense to begin with. You don't have to even delve into the history of Christmas or Easter or all of this other stuff that they paganized. Even if it had some significance of good measure, it's been tainted and distorted so bad. Now it plays to the benefit of the world as opposed to the chosen ones. So I would assume as soon just unsubscribe to all of it, which is what I have done. Just just disconnect from it. But it takes time. So I'm not going to be super critical. People who are still decorating that Christmas tree or doing that type of stuff. But be leery of the narcissist. That's my main thing for coming back doing the second video. It went 22 minutes. But, when you go rattling and, just rattling on and on and on, things like this do tend to linger. But I just want people to be aware. Holidays are not what you think they are when you have dark energy around you. These people come to a party or holiday festivity just to screw it up. And we all got stories of that. I don't have many of those because even before I knew about narcissist personality disorder, I just it was something different about me. And now knowing what that is, you're set apart. You do things unlike most people do them. Not to be better than anyone. You're just different. You're unique. And you realize it early on. And once you've been awakened from narcissistic abuse, you hella woke then. Never to be the same. So, be safe, be well, bless.